वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, everyone. So today we are trying to discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, and the pastime of Shakatasura. And if time permits, we will also discuss further, but at least I thought we will start with the pastime of Shakatasura. So this is in the chapter 7 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10. So the chapter is entitled as the killing of demon Trinavarta, but killing of Trinavarta comes later. First, Shukadeva Goswami explains about the pastime of Krishna liberating Shakatasur. So before this pastime, we all know that Shukadeva Goswami started to speak about Putana being liberated by Krishna to Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was very nourished, and he got very attached to the childhood pastimes of Krishna. So he really wanted to hear more childhood pastimes. So that's what he will request of Shukadeva Goswami. So I'm trying to read more verses and word by word analyze. It's a pastime that a lot of us or all of us know. We have heard it many times. So we are not trying to read anything new or anything. It's more of an austerity, trying to hear again Krishna's pastime and focus our attention into this, because that is what here Parikshit Maharaj is trying to do. Hearing Krishna's pastime in itself actually a devotional service, an act of devotion, and trying to focus our attention. They're the same pastimes, however, they can actually open up new realizations in our heart if we are applying it with devotion. So that is the prayer today, that how we can develop eagerness and taste in hearing about Krishna, in speaking about Krishna. Maybe the known pastimes, maybe the same details, but how do we develop our attachment for Krishna through this process? So with that prayer, so we will start to recite Srimad Bhagavatam. The verses that Shukadeva Goswami personally spoke to Parikshit Maharaj. So he says, Shri Raja Uvacham. Here Parikshit Maharaj is saying, addressing Shukadeva Goswami. He's saying, Ena Ena Avatarena. Bhagavan Haririshwaraha Karoti Karna Ramyani Manogyani Chanaha Prabhu. So the first verse goes like this. Ena Ena Avatarena means that the Supreme Lord Bhagavan, Hari and Ishwar. Hari is one who takes away all the inauspicious things in the life of a devotee. He is Hari. He takes away all the inauspicious things in the life of his devotees. And such a Hari, such Bhagavan, Ishwara, who is the controller, Ena Ena Avatarena, he has taken so many different incarnations, right? The Supreme Lord has unlimited number of incarnations. So Ena Ena Avatarena Bhagavan Harir Ishwaraha. So what has he done? He has done so many activities. But by hearing those activities, Karoti Karna Ramyani. So all his activities in those various pastimes, various avatars, they are all like Karna Ramyani. They are all like very pleasing, sweet to hear about to the ears. So there are many things in this world which are very pleasing to hear, but not all things will be pleasing to our mind or very satisfying to our mind. So, but Krishna's pastimes are not only pleasing to hear, but they are also very, not just sweet to hear, but they are also very pleasing to the mind. So they are both pleasing to the mind and pleasing to the ears. So when we mean by pleasing to the mind, it means it satisfies the mind. Mano Jnani Chanaha Prabhu. One of the acharyas say how anyone in this world likes to hear what is sweet and what pleases their mind. It's the nature, right? If you're given a choice what to hear, you will always choose those things that you like to hear, right? You go on YouTube, There are so many things that you can hear and watch, but you choose what you like. Maybe some people watch politics, some people watch music, some people watch a lecture. Depends on what they like to hear within that also. So one of the acharyas says here Parikshit Maharaj is denoting there are many avatars of Krishna. There are many avatars of the Supreme Lord, unlimited actually, and he has done so many activities in those avatars. But I would like to hear the pastimes of Krishna as a child, so that he will come in the next verse. In the third verse, he will specifically mention. So that's why here Parikshit Maharaj is saying, tell me those things which are pleasing to the ears and pleasing to the minds, which are the pastimes of Krishna. So Mano Jnani Chanaha Prabhu. And then he says, what is the effect of hearing about Krishna? So in these two verses, Parikshit Maharaj lists literally 7 things. At least in the coming verse, he lists 5 things, which is the effect of hearing about Krishna. So what is the effect of hearing about Krishna? Yashrinvato apaitya aratir vitrishna sattam cha shuddhyat achirena pumsaha bhaktir harautat purushet sakyam tadeva haram vadamanya sechet. Yashrinvato. If someone hears about those pastimes of the Supreme Lord, ena avatarina, that he has taken so many avatars, and in those avatars, he has done so many activities by hearing those activities. Yashrinvato. Apaiti. What is apaiti? Apaiti means we all know upaiti means coming, apaiti means goes away. So what goes away by hearing about Krishna? Yashrinvato apaiti goes away. What goes away? Aratir. Aratir is being unattracted. Rati means, you all know, Rati means attraction. We all want Krishna Rati. We all want attraction to Krishna. But what is this arati? We don't have any attraction to Krishna. Right? Conditioned souls are not attracted to Krishna naturally. They are attracted to so many material things. So we have this aratir, that means unattractiveness towards Krishna consciousness. So that goes away by hearing about Krishna. Aratir, first thing that goes away is we are not at all interested about Krishna. We are so kind of distracted when we hear about Krishna. But when we continue to apply ourselves to this process of hearing about Krishna, what happens is aratir, that goes away. Aratir upaiti. Sorry, aratir apaiti. The aratir, the unattractiveness towards Krishna goes away. And then what happens? Vitrishna. We have so many dirty things in our mind that is making us uninterested in Krishna consciousness. Because in this world, everyone has some attraction. If it is not towards Krishna, that means it is towards some material thing. So that is all caused because of Vitrishna. We have so many desires. Manoglani. Because of those Vitrishna. That means I have so many desires to achieve so many material things. And because of that, I have so much distress in my mind. So Krishna, by hearing about Krishna, we lose Vitrishna. Krishna takes away Vitrishna. That is anything other than uh, desiring anything other than Krishna. So that also goes away. Aratir and then Vitrishna, they both go away. Sattvam cha shuddhya tachirena pumsaha. The heart becomes cleansed. Sattvam cha shuddhyati. So that is the third effect. First effect is aratir goes away. The second is Vitrishna goes away. And the third thing, all the dirty things in the heart, they go away. So, and then the heart becomes clean. And then bhaktir harau means devotion to Krishna actually manifests in one's heart by hearing about Krishna regularly. So that is the fourth effect. And the fifth effect is tat purusheta sakyam, means tat purusha means Prabhupada translates as Vaishnavas. So with Vaishnavas, with other devotees, we develop loving relationship. So how do we develop relationship with other devotees, loving relationship? By hearing about Krishna together, by coming together and hearing about Krishna. And that is a very therapeutical process where people can keep aside the differences of opinion that they have and understand that Krishna is in the center in all our relationships. And even if I have some differences of opinion with this person, I can still be nice to this person. I can still cooperate with this person. I can still develop friendship with this person because we both love Krishna. So that is possible only when devotees come together and actually hear about Krishna from each other and really understand how this person also loves Krishna. This person also loves Krishna. This devotee, whom I think is very quarrelsome, he also loves Krishna. This devotee, I think, oh, he sleeps in his japa, he also loves Krishna. This Mataji, who's actually very loud and noisy, she is also loving Krishna. So we may have judgments about different devotees, but when we understand that all these devotees actually love Krishna, we can keep aside our judgments because that judgment is coming from our own ego also. So the best way to develop relationship with other devotees is to come together and actually hear about Krishna from each other, share about Krishna from each other. By doing this process of hearing and chanting and remembering Krishna together as a family, that is how we can actually develop strong relationships. So whether it is the immediate family through blood relationships, or it is the family of devotional relationships, both the families can be kept together when we do devotional activities together. You come together and take prasad with other devotees. We come together and hear about Krishna, sitting together and sharing with each other about Krishna, singing for Krishna's pleasure, doing kirtan together, whether we do it in our immediate family or in the extended family of the devotees. Only when we keep Krishna in the center and engage in this process of hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna, then our relationships can actually develop on a spiritual level. Otherwise, difference of opinions will always be there. Otherwise, we will naturally hate each other. We won't like each other because there will always be differences between individuals. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, so by hearing about Krishna, Yashrin Vato Apaiti Aratir Vitrishna, Tattum cha Shuddhyat Tashirena Pumsaha Bhaktir Harotat Purushe cha Sakyam Tadeva Haram Vadamanya Sechet. Just by hearing about Krishna, all these things can happen. And then he is saying, now that I've spoken about the glories of hearing about Krishna, he's trying to inspire Shukadeva Goswami, continue to speak about Krishna, continue to speak, don't stop. And then he's saying what he specifically wants to hear, saying Atanya Dapi, Krishna's here. He's saying Atha means here, the Acharya say, therefore now continue to speak whatever you have been speaking. Atanya Dapi, Krishna's here. Whatever you have spoken about Krishna earlier, like you started speaking about Krishna's birth and then about Putana, continue to speak about Krishna. What specifically? Toka Charitam Adbhutam. The wonderful childhood pastime. Toka means child. Toka Acharitam. Krishna behaving like a child. So wonderful, Adbhutam. Toka Charitam Adbhutam. Speak about the wonderful childhood pastimes of Krishna. Manusham lokamasadya tajjati manurundataha. Krishna, as if playing as a human child. Manusham lokamasadya. He came into this planet of material existence, the earthly planet, and he is Manusham Lokam. He is coming, playing as if like a human child. Tajjati manurundataha. Exactly like a human child he was imitating. So Anurundata means imitating, or Anurundata, one of the Acharyas say, could also mean like how he was trying to inspire living entities because he was trying to imitate or consolidate. So the word Anurundata could also mean consolidate the attraction of all the living beings. It's very natural for a human being to be attracted with by another human being, right? Is it? It's natural. We may be attracted to other animals or other living entities, but still the attraction between the human beings is very strong. So that is why Krishna has taken so many avatars. He has taken Matsya avatar, he has taken Varaha avatar, he has taken so many other avatars, Kurma avatar. However, many people will identify with Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, even Nrsimhadev because he is half lion, half human being. But a lot of people can identify with Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, and they worship Lord Ram and Lord Krishna than Matsya avatar or Kurma avatar because it's very natural for conditioned living beings to be attracted to someone also in the same form. That's why Krishna, who is the original form, supreme personality of Godhead, in his form, like we are in that form, human form, and he appears as if like a human form. He comes in his original form, but humans have taken after that kind of a form. So he comes into this society, and when he performs such pastimes, we become very naturally connected easily to those kind of pastimes. That's why it is said, Tad jati manurundatah. He is imitating so that he can tad jatim, he can attract all the human beings because he is playing like a small child. And when there are small children, everyone's heart becomes attracted to them. So that's why by Krishna performing these human-like pastimes, specifically childhood pastimes, is trying to attract the hearts of all human beings. So that's why Parikshit Maharaj really wants Shukadeva Goswami to continue to explain the childhood pastimes of Krishna. And that's why he's specifically speaking to inspire Shukadeva Goswami. So now Shukadeva Goswami understood the heart of Parikshit Maharaj. So he is jumping into the narration and he's saying straight, he's not having anything else. He's straight going to the pastime of Shakatasur. Sri Shuka Uvacha, he's saying in the next verse that Shukadeva Goswami is saying that Kadati Dautantika Kautuka Plave Janmarksha Yoge Samaveta Yoshitam Vaditra Gita Dvijamantra Vachaka Chakara Sunor Abhishechanam Sati. So here Shukadeva Goswami is saying Kadachid. Kada means in Sanskrit we all know at that time. When Krishna was actually 3 months old. Approximately Krishna was 3 months old. That means it was exactly actually 100 days. He had just passed the 100th day after his birth. So Mother Yashoda wanted to observe that ceremony because not just because it is the 100th day, because Krishna was trying to actually move. Uttana ceremony it is called as, because he was attempting to turn around. His body was developing, his physical angas were developing, so he attempted to turn around. And this pleasing occasion was observed with a festival and bathing ceremony. That is called as Uttana ceremony. So whenever the child for the first time attempts to turn himself, and this particular ceremony is celebrated in the Vedic tradition, it is called as Uttana ceremony, Uttana. And here, Krishna, just imagine being the supreme personality of Godhead, for 100 days, he was not just moving himself. Just imagine the Supreme Lord, wherever he was placed, however he was placed, he was lying like that. He was completely dependent on the loving care of Mother Yashoda. So here, after 100 days, he's trying to move himself, turn around himself. So for 100 days, the Supreme Lord, actually behaving like a small baby, was completely dependent on the care of Mother Yashoda. And also this particular day, Janma Riksha Yoga, at that time there was also a conjunction with the birth star of Krishna. So can anyone say what is the birth nakshatra of Krishna, the star in which Krishna was born?
Rohini Nakshatra.
Perfect. Yes, it was Rohini Nakshatra. So on this day, also it was Rohini Nakshatra. So Mother Yashoda chose this day, and also it was the day that Krishna tried to turn around. So it was also the Uttana ceremony. So she was trying to celebrate it on this particular day of Uttana ceremony on this nakshatra of Rohini. And then Samaveta Yoshitam. She invited all the Brajavasis. So there were so many men and women, especially a ceremony of mothers because it is dealing with a small child. So they all had come, and different varieties of music and singing was going on. Vaditra Gita. So there was varieties of music and singing was going on. On the other side, there were Brahmanas who were chanting Divya Mantra Vachakais. The chanting of Vedic hymns by qualified Brahmanas was going on. On the other side, there was music and singing was going on. And in this way, she actually executed the bathing ceremony, Abhishechanam Sati. Mother Yashoda is called as Sati because she was very, very expert in arranging everything for the pleasure of Krishna in order to celebrate the happiness that Krishna has turned around and he's growing. So, in this way, she expertly arranged for where all the ladies to assemble. There was music and singing, and there was brahmanas chanting. So there was such a festive atmosphere that she created for the pleasure of Krishna. So, and then here, Shukadeva Goswami says, Nandasya patni kritamajjanadikam viprai kritaswastyayanam supujita annadyavasa shragabishta denubi sanjata nidraksham shanai. That means Nandasya patni. Who's Nandasya patni? Nandasya patni is Yashodama. Mother Yashoda, what did she do? Kritamajjanadikam. She bathed herself, she got herself ready, but specifically she got Krishna ready. She bathed him, put on actually put on fresh clothes, and in that way she got Krishna ready. Kritamajjana adikam means when you say bathing and other things, that means after bathing she applied fragrant substances, she put on dress, she put on jewelry for Krishna, she applied various ointments, kajal, and everything for Krishna. So she decorated Krishna very nicely, and then she also received Viprai. She received all the brahmanas, and Kritasvastayanam, they were all actually chanting auspicious Vedic hymns. But before that, she actually worshipped them. She worshipped all the guests, especially the brahmanas, and then gave them Annadyavasa Shragabishta Denubi. She gave them charity. She fed them not sufficiently, and then she gave them in charity grains and eatables, and she gave them garments, she gave them flower garlands, desirable cows. So in this way, she completely satisfied them. Because once the guests are satisfied, it will be very natural for them to give very blessings. So her whole thing was, how can I attract more blessings for my son, Krishna? So in that way, to attract more blessings for Krishna, she satisfied all the guests, especially the brahmanas, with various gifts and fed them nicely. And then Kritasvastayanam, and they were engaged in auspicious chanting of Vedic hymns for the for the protection of Krishna, for the blessings of Krishna. But at this time, all the ladies who have assembled, they are all looking at the beauty of Krishna. They were all enjoying the beauty of Krishna, how he is Kritamajjanadikam, how he was bathed and dressed freshly by Mother Yashoda, expertly decorated by Mother Yashoda. So they were all enjoying the beauty of Krishna. So Nidra Devi was thinking, everybody is actually experiencing the beauty of Krishna, enjoying the beauty of Krishna. Nidra Devi is also a woman. She was thinking, oh, when will I enjoy the beauty of Krishna? So she appeared in the scene to enjoy Krishna's beauty. So where does Mother Nidra Devi appear whenever she appears? What is the place in which she appears? When Nidra Devi comes, where is the first place she appears? She
Wherever
appears
Krishna
in
Katha
the,
is going on.
huh?
Wherever Krishna Katha is going on.
That is, I think that also is possible. However, usually, even when Krishna Katha is not going there, when we feel sleepy, where is the first place you feel like you feel that?
On the
Eyes?
bed. Yeah, eyes.
No, means in our body, eyes like kind of doze. So that is the first place usually Nidra Devi comes. So here also, Krishna is called as Sanjata Nidraksham Ashishyat Shanai. Means Krishna started showing that symptom, Nidraksham. In his eyes, Nidra Devi appeared. So Nidra Devi was thinking all the ladies are enjoying the beauty of Krishna. I also wanted to enjoy. She also wanted to enjoy the beauty of Krishna. But when she appeared in the eyes, then Krishna was also feeling sleepy. So then Mother Yashoda saw, oh, okay, my boy is feeling sleepy. So she is very busy receiving so many people. But she thought, since the baby is almost about feeling very sleepy, let me put him to sleep. So she goes. Prabhupada writes in the purport that she goes, she lies down with the baby, and in that way she actually puts the baby to sleep. She says, Mother Yashoda saw that her child felt sleepy, and to give him all facilities for sleep, she lay down with the child. So she went into the bedroom. She lies down with the baby, with Krishna next to. Because usually the babies, they won't just sleep by themselves when they are very young. The mother has to act as if the mother is also going to bed. Only then they'll feel protected that my mother is also along with me, and then they'll just sleep. So once they sleep, then the mother actually leaves them quietly and then comes and does the household activities. The same way Mother Yashoda also took Krishna inside. put him on the very soft bed, lie down along next to him. Just imagine the Supreme Lord is in a very small baby form, dependent on his mother to put to him to sleep. So Mother Yashoda lies down, puts the baby next to her, and then makes sure, and then Krishna falls asleep. So once Krishna falls asleep, she understands there are so many guests. So she wants to keep an eye on Krishna. At the same time, she also wants to attend to the guests who have come for this festival, Uttana ceremony. So she takes Krishna very quietly outside, and then she places him on a here also Shukadeva Goswami will say that she keeps him on a small other bed, Pariyankam. She keeps him on a small other like we all have these strollers these days, but we also in houses we will see small cradles, we call them in English, cradles. So she keeps in a Pariyanka and then puts it in the courtyard. There is a cart filled with various things, various utensils are arranged in that cart. So she keeps Krishna because she wants to keep an eye on Krishna. So she brings Krishna and puts him on his cradle and keeps the cradle below the cart so that he can quietly sleep aside from all the hustle bustle happening at the home. And she calls all the babies around, small kids around. She says, hey kids, I'm putting Krishna to sleep here. Just watch around. Just watch around. If at all he actually wants me, let me know. I'll come and attend to Krishna. And then she gets busy with the attending to the guests because there are so many guests who have come. So she needs to actually attend to those guests. So that's what is Sanjata Nidraksham Ashishayat Shanai. So seeing that Krishna is feeling asleep, so she put him to sleep and then brought him out, put him on a cradle, and left him below the cart. So the next verse, Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Authani kautukya mana manasvini samagatan pujayati vrajaukasa naiva shrunodvai ruditam sutasya rudan sanarti charanav utapshipat. That means she is here, uh, Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Authanika Autsukyamana means Mother Yashoda was very happy and very busy. She was extremely happy because there were so many people celebrating uh, the Uttana ceremony of her child, and her child is growing and doing well. And all the people are looking at the child are saying, "Oh, the child is growing. He's healthy." So she's very happy about her child being healthy, and so many people are being there to actually bless her child. So that is her happiness. So Authanika, Autsukyamana. She was completely busy and she was very, very happy. Mana Manaswini. She was very, very liberal in distributing everything because she was so happy. She was distributing everything for the guest with a very in a liberal mind, Manaswini. Very liberal in distributing food, clothing, ornaments, and cows according to the necessity. She was distributing them in a very liberal mind to all the assembled guests, Samagatan. And who were assembled? She actually called all of Brajaukasa. She called all the inhabitants of Braja and she worshipped them. That means she actually tried to satisfy them. So inviting guests means to satisfy them. So that is the worship of guests. What is the worship of guests? Worship of the guests is actually trying to satisfy them by providing to their needs. And here, Samagatan pujayati vrajaukasa naiva shrunodvai ruditam sutasyasa. So because she was so busy attending to the guests and seeing that everybody is satisfied, everybody having all the necessities, she actually did not hear that Krishna was crying. So why Krishna was crying? Ruditam Sutasyasa, that her son was crying, but Naiva Shrunod. So Shukadeva Goswami is especially using the word Eva. So the Acharyas say, why is Shukadeva Goswami saying, not saying Na Shrunot? She did not hear Krishna crying. But he is saying, certainly she did not hear Krishna crying. Because sometimes when we are busy and we know the child is crying, we may think, oh, The child is crying, but I'm so busy. If I go attend to the child, I won't be able to complete this task. Let it cry for a while. I know the child will is just waking up, so he or she is cranky. She will naturally calm down. So we might sometimes knowingly let the child cry for a while because we are attending to something very important. So that is not the case with Mother Yashoda. Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Na eva ashrunoti. She certainly did not hear, because if she heard that Krishna was crying, she would have immediately abandoned everything else and she would have gone there. But she was so busy. That is why Shukadeva Goswami started this word saying, Authanika Autsukyamana. She was very busy. Because she was busy attending to all the guests, she could not certainly hear that Krishna was crying. But why is Krishna crying? He was just sleeping, right? Why is he crying? Because Rudan Stanarthi Charana Udakshipat. Why is Krishna crying? He has become Stanarthi. Because this, I'm just trying to give generic information. This is not the case with Krishna, but in general, uh, children, the just born babies, stomach is just 30 ml, can hold like 30 ml. Usually, grown up adults can hold almost like a liter and a half of contents. However, usually, I hope if there are any doctors, they can confirm me. But usually, it is said they can only hold around 30 ml. So that means the child is going to be hungry every 2 hours. So that is why usually we see the children actually wake up very quickly. They drink a little, they sleep, and then immediately they are again hungry. So that's why when the kids are very small, when the baby is very small, the mothers can't have continuous sleep because the baby is going to cry every 2 or 3 hours. It's going to get hungry. So the baby will drink and it'll go into a samadhi. It will be feel like a saint. It's like so satisfied. It's just sleeping so sound, and you feel like wow, the child is sleeping so nicely. Just give another 2 hours, the child is going to cry like going to wake up everyone in the house because it's going to get hungry. So similarly here, Krishna is imitating childhood pastimes. So here he is Tanarthi, he is also crying for milk. Actually, he is crying for Mother Yashoda's love. So because he is, as a human child, he is imitating the pastimes. He is also becoming Stanarthi. He is hankering to drink his mother's milk by sucking her breast. So Rudan Stanarthi Tarana Udakshipat. So what he is thinking, he got up as soon as small kids wake up, so they are like cranky. They just immediately want to be close to their mother. So as soon as he wakes up and understands his mother is not next to him, he is becoming cranky. He is crying. Charanau Udakshipad. What is he doing? He's throwing his legs. So those small, like literally 100 days old baby. So he is he's kind of like kicking his legs. Charanad Udakshipad. And then here Shukadeva Goswami is going to continue. Here in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying how Shakatasur was actually the cart, was underneath, he was kept under the cart. And Prabhupada said Krishna had been placed underneath a household cart, but this hand cart was actually another form of Shakatasura, a demon who had come there to kill child. So we will see in the coming verse. Shukadeva Goswami says, Adashayanasya Shishoranolpaka Pravala Mriduvangri Hatam Vyavartata Vidastvanana Rasakupya Bhajanam Vyatyasta Chakraksha Vibinna Kubaram. So Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Adashayanasya, that Shishor is Krishna, he was sleeping under. What was he sleeping under? He was sleeping under Anaha, that is the cart. So the kid, the Sishor, Another Shayanasya, the kid who was sleeping under the cart, Alpaka, he was not very much grown. He was a small baby. And Pravala Mriduvangri Hatam, he was actually having a Mriduvangri. How soft his legs were, very delicate and soft and beautiful. How soft they were, just like Pravala, just like just a fresh leaf, a fresh young leaf, how soft it is. As soon as you pluck it, in a while it will become very dull because it is so komal, it is so soft. So Pravala, like that, hands and legs, especially his legs, Angri, his legs were so delicate and beautiful. But with that very, very soft, beautiful, delicate baby's legs, he was actually with us. He was actually kicking, and then in the course of kicking, he touched the cart. And with that cart actually was dvasta means usually is like scattered or is like destroyed, but it was vidvasta. It was completely destroyed. It was Shukadeva Goswami also uses the word Vyavartata. It was completely turned over and fell down. The whole cart filled with lot of heavy utensils just by the touch of a small baby, alpaca, very small baby, Shisho or alpaca. Two words are used by Shukadeva Goswami. Here is a small baby who is just 100 years old, sorry, 100 days old, and and the legs are very, very soft. But as soon as he touched, the whole cart actually rolled over and fell down and was everything which was kept on the cart was scattered around. Just imagine, even if a grown-up adult kicks the cart, it may just shake the cart, but it won't just like completely turn over, and then all the utensils kept on that cart will not just be scattered. So here different acharyas give different meaning. They say Vidasva Nana Rasakupya Bhajanam. What was kept on the cart? The the cart was kept the cart had many utensils made of various metals. Nana Rasa means made by different metals. Kupya Bhajanam. The utensils made of different metals was kept. The other acharyas say it was also rasa means various utensils filled with go rasa. Means go rasa means yogurt, milk, especially ghee is considered also go rasa, because this is all coming from cow. So utensils filled with milk, yogurt, and ghee for the festivities. It was filled in that cart and kept. So all these things are there. And one acharya says that Krishna thought, why is this Gaura on my top? Because go also means what? Go means cows. Go also means what?
Senses.
Yeah. Go also means senses. What is the rasa of the senses? Go rasa?
Sense objects.
Sense objects or sense enjoyment. That's what it's trying to relish, right? The go rasa is the sense enjoyment that the senses are trying to relish. So Krishna is thinking, I am Brahman, I am the Supreme Lord, I am Bhagavan, I am Adokshaja, I am above the senses. How is this sense enjoyment staying above me? It's not right. The sense enjoyment cannot be above me. Krishna is also called as Rasa, right? Rasovai Saha. He is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. If you have like read the book Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami, what is the name that Rupa Goswami gives to Krishna in the beginning? He calls Krishna as Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Means Krishna is the embodiment of all rasas, all spiritual rasas. Akhila Rasamrita Murti. He is the Murti, he is the embodiment of all spiritual rasas. And Krishna is thinking, I am here, the Akhila Rasamrita Murti, trying to enjoy spiritual rasa with my mother and other residents of Vrindavan, and this go rasa is sitting above me. How is it proper? So that is why he's kicking the cart so that all the go rasa is filled. All he is dismantling, he's showing to the world how that sense gratification or satisfaction achieved through senses can never be above Krishna's above Krishna, or satisfaction achieved through Krishna. The sense gratification can never be above the satisfaction achieved through satisfying Krishna. That is why Srila Suta Goswami, when he is answering the stages of Shaunaka the rishis, he is saying that Yena Atma Suprasidati. That is what the sages ask. So Suta Goswami is saying, Sabai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Rajokshaje Ahaituki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasidati. He says, by what the soul can be satisfied? Yaya Atma Suprasidati. The soul can be satisfied only by worshipping. Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje. The word that he uses for the Supreme Lord is adokshaja. The Lord who is above the senses. The Lord who defeats the senses. Adaha means one who defeats. Akshaja means the knowledge that is born through eyes, the knowledge that is born through ears, the knowledge that is born through the senses represented by eyes. So one who defeats the sense enjoyment born through any of these senses. So that Lord, only by serving that Lord, one can actually have satisfaction of the soul. So that's what Krishna is proving here by actually kicking the cart. He's saying, how can this Gorasa be above me? It's not possible. I am Adokshaja. I defeat this. So he is kicking. So in Vrindavan, Krishna does not change his form. As a small baby with his very tender legs, he kicks the cart. And here Vishwanath Chakravarti says, this is the proof that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, because he says, Narsimhadev to kill Hiranyakashipu had to take a huge form, half man, half lion, and ferocious. He has to use his energy to kill Hiranyakashipu. When Vamanadev actually appeared, he has to expand himself to actually measure the universe. He appeared as a dwarf, Brahmana, but he expanded himself as Trivikrama and to measure the three worlds. But Krishna, in order to kill any demon in Vrindavan, does not change his form. So here he has to kick the cart, he has to liberate Shakatasura. He does not change his form. As a small baby, just by touching the cart, he actually gets the job done. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Krishna tu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality because in other incarnations, the Lord had to exert some energy according to the time and circumstances. But in this original form as Krishna, he exhibited unlimited potency in that whether it is a small baby form or is a boy form or later as an adult form, in any form, he could just exhibit the same potency. He is now 100 years old, but just 7 days old, he killed Putana just by sucking milk. He did not change his form. So that Vishnu Chakravarti quotes that. So that the hand cart actually collapsed. How did the hand cart collapse? That is also explained by Sukadeva Goswami. He says, Vyatyasta chakraksha vibhinna kubaram. He says, Vyatyasta means the cart was completely dislocated. How? Chakraksha, the two wheels became separate, the axle which was connecting the two wheels, that became separate. And then Kubaram, the pole of the hand cart, which was connecting the back part and the front part where the bulls will be yoked, that whole thing also came off. So the cart was completely dislocated, and all the things which was kept on the cart were all scattered, and literally the cart went like we all say, like it flipped in air and then went and fell. And all the Brajvasis are like, how did this happen? Have you ever seen, like, you park a truck or something in the parking and then the truck just on its own topples? It's like no one can understand. How is it possible? How can a truck can topple on its own? It's not possible. So similarly, the Brajvasis are thinking, how is this cart can just fall on its own, like roll over and completely be dislocated, and all the things on top of it are scattered. So now the things are all scattered hither and thither. So naturally, everyone surrounding is going to rush towards that scene. So that's what Shukadeva Goswami is explaining. Drishtva Yashoda Pramukha Vrajaspriya Authanike Karmaniya Samagata Nandadayascha Darshana Kula Katam Swayam Vai Shakatam Viparyagat. He says, Drishtva, they all say, after seeing that what had happened to the in the scene of cart toppling, Yashoda Pramukha Vrajaspriya, all the ladies of Vraja, headed by Yashoda, they were rushing. Authanike Karmaniya Samagata. They had all assembled for this Utthana ceremony. So all the ladies who had assembled for the Utthana ceremony, headed by Mother Yashoda, rushed towards this scene, seeing the cart falling over. Nanda Chad Buddhadarshana Nanda Maharaj, along with other men, also rushed to that. And they were all wondering, Cha Adbhuta, by seeing this wonderful calamity. That is, means calamity it is, but it was so bewildering to them. It was so bewildering that the heavily loaded cart had broken up like that upon a small baby, and the small baby is lying unhurt completely, and the cart is all completely dismantled. And Akula and thus they were very much perturbed. They were like so confused. They were so much in anxiety. Some of them were yelling, "Is the kid okay? Is all the kids okay? How is it? How are the kids?" Because when Krishna was crying, Mother Yashoda had asked other kids to watch over Krishna. And other kids saw that Krishna got up and he is crying. So they were like taking their time to go and inform Mother Yashoda. They were just like kind of a little bit distracted. And they were looking at Krishna. They were trying to kind of console him, thinking he will be okay by just by them consoling. So when they were looking at Krishna when this happened, so they saw Krishna kicking the cart and the cart falling apart. So they were actually clear eyewitnesses. And so they're all there also. So the residents of Vrindavan are wondering what happened to all the kids and Krishna who were under the cart. They were all are all they say safe. So that's what their anxiety was. So they were all like akula. They were all anxious, perturbed. So and they were wondering how just the cart can actually fall by itself. Katam swayam vai shakatam viparyagat, that how can this heavily loaded cart can be completely dismantled, the Shakatam hand cart, by itself, Swayam, because they are not able to see any other reason. So they are all like completely confused. And then they ask this. So the assembled coward men and ladies actually contemplate how this thing had happened. So they are all thinking, is it the work of some demon or is it the evil planets? Uchur avyavasita matin gopan gopish shabalaka rudatanena padena kshipattam etanna samsheha. So they are all speaking loudly. What is the reason for this? Is it the work of some demon like how Putana came? Is it an evil planet? What is this? So the men and ladies are like discussing. So at that time, the small children hearing this conversation of the elders, they are actually asserting to the elders that the cart had actually been kicked apart by this baby Krishna. Rudata anena padena. As soon as the child cried with one leg, just with one leg, padena shiptam, this cart was dashed by one leg of the kid and this completely dismantled. And the kids are saying, Na samshaya, don't doubt us. We are eyewitness. We saw that as soon as the child's one leg touched the cart fell and completely got dismantled and all the substances got scattered. And we saw this with our own eyes. Don't doubt us, na samshaya. The kids were like, trying to explain. But it's not going to be easy for the kids to convince the elders. So Nate Shraddha Dire Gopa Balabhashitam Nityuta Aprameyam Balam Tasya Balakasya Nate Viduhu. So naturally, the assembled gopis and the gopas, they were not aware that how unlimited power that Krishna had, what kind of power that Krishna had. So they could not believe that this small, little, tiny baby Krishna had such inconceivable power to actually kick a whole cart filled with things. So they could not believe the statements of these young children because they thought Balakasya, they're just Balabhashitam, they're just like stupid things like Bala Bhashita means child words, or we also may say these are stupid innocent words. Bala Bhashitam, childish talk from the assembled children. They were thinking, oh, these are all small kids doing some childish talk. So therefore, they neglected these statements as just like childish talk. And they were thinking, oh, Rudantam Sutam Adaya Yashoda Graha Shankita Krita Swastyayanam Vipra Shuktai Stanam Apayat. But thinking that some bad planet had attacked Krishna, Mother Yashoda immediately assembled all the Brahmanas that were there, and she made them do sacred prayers again. Krita Swastyayanam Viprahi. She already, they were Brahmanas, they were experienced, so she called for them to chant Vedic hymns and perform an auspicious ritualistic ceremony, and then Mother Yashoda picked up the crying child and she was having the child, and after all these ceremonies are over, she allowed him to suck her breast. So even Krishna, actually, what is the main reason for Krishna to cry? Tanarti. He became eager to drink the milk of Mother Yashoda. That is why he cried. And in that pretext, he actually kicked the cart. So kicking the cart was actually a byproduct or a side reaction. The main thing was he was actually wanting to enjoy the loving devotion of Mother Yashoda. In the process, he also thought, let me just finish this demon who was Shakatasur, who has come as in this form. So there is a backstory that this son of Hiranyaksha called as Utkacha. So his name is in the Bhagavad Purana also. So in the seventh canto, second chapter, 18 and 19th verse, all the sons of Hiranyaksha were listed. So when Hiranyaksha was killed, Hiranyakashipu was speaking to the family of Hiranyaksha, and there it is said that he had actually uh, seven sons, I believe. Shakuni, Shambara, Drishti, Bhuta Santapana, Vrikha, Kalanaba, Mahanaba, Harismarshru, and then Utkacha. So this son of Hiranyaksha, who's called as Utkacha, once actually was playing havoc in the ashram of Lomasa Rishi. So he was trying to disturb Lomasa Rishi. So he takes a invisible form, and then he breaks the branches of the trees to disturb the situation of Lomasa Rishi's ashram. So Lomasa Rishi actually gets very irritated, and he actually curses Utkacha, saying, Videhe bhavo durmate. That means he says, oh, evil minded demon, you become bodiless. Because without form, in the form of air, and then breaking the branches of the trees and creating disturbances, you become bodiless, you become a ghost. So that's why he's saying, Videho bhava durmate. You evil minded person, become bodiless. So after hearing this, the demon comes to reality, because immediately his body falls away like a snake leaves its old skin. So immediately he comes to his senses and begs forgiveness from Loma Rishi. And Loma Rishi says, okay, now that you are begging for forgiveness, I won't take away this curse, but you will be blessed by the touch of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Hari in the Vaivasvata Manvantra. Currently, the Chakshusha Manvantra is going on. Once this is over, there will be Vaivasvata Manvantra, and the Supreme Lord Krishna will appear, and he will deliver you with his lotus feet. So in this way, Lomasha Rishi says, Vata Deha tu te bhuyad. Until then, you can actually assume the body of a Vata Deha. You can assume the body of made up of air. So it is invisible still, but he still does not have a Stula Sharira like earlier. So he was cursed to have a Vata Deha. So here, Shakatasura, Ravana sends him so that because he is invisible, because Putana was visible, Krishna killed. So Kamsa is thinking, this next demon that I'll send, let him be invisible. How will the child kill? If the demon is invisible, no one can realize that he has come. And the child also won't be able to see. How will the child even try to kill? So that is why Shakatasur was trying to take shelter of this cart in the form of this airy demon and press the cart and make everything fall on the child. And in that way, actually, he wanted the child to be killed. So Krishna understood that before Shakatasur takes an action, he actually kicks the cart and makes everything fall on Shakatasura. And in that way, he actually liberates Shakatasura or kills Shakatasura. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says how the Shakatasura also represents the uh, unwanted habits, bad habits that we accumulate. So that's what Krishna is actually kicking, because these unwanted habits are coming in between us and Krishna. So when Krishna continuously sees his devotees are getting distracted in their relationship with him through bad habits, then Krishna actually kicks away those things. So it can create some anger. It can be through various situations, but Has the ability to kick away all those things. If we take shelter of his lotus feet, he can kick away all those unnecessary things. So in this way, Krishna is experiencing the love of Mother Yashoda and hankering for love of Mother Yashoda, and at the same time teaching all of us that how the sense enjoyment can never be above Krishna, and he can destroy the obstacles in our devotional service by taking shelter of his lotus feet. So thank you very much, Hare Krishna. It is 9:31.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful talk. So right now, would you be willing to answer a question or two, Prabhu?
Excuse me for that.
Sure, Prabhu.
Thank you. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Praise Prabhu.
Okay.
I'm available.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Or any reflections, whatever you want to share, something in relation to what I spoke, anything that you remembered, reminded of.
Okay, if nobody has any questions, Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes.
Prabhu, like from where, can you give me the reference, Prabhu, for that story of Lomharshana Rishi and Utkacha?
Lomasa Rishi and Utkacha, that is there in Garha Samhita.
Garga Samhita, okay. Sure, Prabhu. Yes. Anyway, doesn't look like anybody has any questions, Prabhu.
Yeah, I have a
No
question.
problem. Yes, Ratyata bro.
Yeah, it was exhaustive. You are speaking continuously. Probably you forgot water is on your right side or left side. I am not sure. So yeah, it was. It is amazing pastime. So, Prabhuji, this is not related to Krishna's pastime. They are very pleasing. So frequently the problem comes for people. If you go to Hindu temple, in the wall or top in the ceiling, you find this all things are originating from Vishnu. It's also explained. I have no doubt about that. But how do you conclusively forcefully tell people that Vishnu is not the, again, I'm not saying that it is interpreted that like Vishnu Puran, Vishnu is the greatest, and our Bhagavad Puran is the supreme personality, and in Shiva Puran, Lord Shiva is everything. So 18 Puranas, so different gods are there. In Hindu temple, I don't know, a couple of places I have seen. First is Vishnu, and then 10 avatars. Krishna is 8th avatar. So even if we know Krishna to Bhagavan Swayam, then Ishwara Param Krishna. So there are many places Krishna is the original candle or personality of Godhead. And there is again we know Krishna and Vishnu has no differences. Krishna is in home and Vishnu is in office. So again we know that Vishnu, Mahavishnu and Garbhodakya Vishnu, Kirodakya Vishnu, they are all creation from Krishna himself. How do we convince somebody who is outside to tell that Krishna is the personality of Godhead? We know we are we are studying shastras, we are listening to devotees, and we are in the right place to understand what exactly the situation. But how do a new devotee like us or anybody outsiders who is attending the class today, he will conclusively say that Krishna is the personality of Godhead. In the sense, I have no doubt. I am not questioning that part. Just to quote, to understand from Shastra. I don't know exactly where I read. I think it's Chaitanya Charitamrita or so it is clearly given so many references why Krishna is personality of Godhead. But a common person to reach that stage, it will be difficult. So how do we answer that question, Prabhuji? If you can.
So means if I paraphrase your question, it's like you're asking like how does a person come to this understanding that Krishna is the supreme Lord and Vishnu is coming from him? And how do we explain to a new person who may have the generic Hindu understanding of Vishnu being the supreme?
Yeah, correct. And another part is a new person explaining another person that Krishna is original personality of God. Because people attending classes, he's not there today. They attended so many years, but they will tell, Vishnu is personality of supreme personality. How do you answer? That was his question couple of times earlier. So go ahead, Prabhuji. That's the
Yeah, bro. So I think for me as like a normal person who came to devotion service and then started to practice, that is not my first what do you call, like, doubt or anything like that. So it's a gradual thing. We gradually accept. So I would say if he's a new person, this is not like a make or break a kind of a thing. If they continue to chant Hare Krishna, eventually that will naturally, Krishna will inspire in their heart for them to see the right things, because explanation is there. Explanation is there in Bhagavatam, is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but I think it's more like falling in love. It has no logic. So if they continue to chant Hare Krishna, associate with devotees, take prasadam, hear from Prabhupada, it'll eventually they will be able to accept. But if it is like forced upon them, sometimes people feel like kind of little what do you call uncomfortable, or sometimes even like rebellious. So I would say the truth is there for sure. There is scriptural evidence, and the rasa one person experiences, everything is there. But people may like other aspects of the supreme, other avatars of the supreme lord also. That is also there. However, if someone wants to understand that how Krishna is the supreme lord, so that experience will come gradually by chanting Hare Krishna and being with the devotees. If they are new people, still it could be given just by being around in the community. Eventually, I think it will happen. If they are not comfortable at the beginning, I don't think we need to force that on them.
Yes, Prabhuji, that is correct. So the question also that gentleman was asking, I don't know what answers we gave. I showed him shastras and all. He's not there today. So he says, somebody asked me, how do you answer? He's a neophyte or new to the consciousness. He is getting convinced. He attends the program, and
How do I answer to others?
somebody will ask him how he will explain, or his family members or parents. That's what probably he was referring to. No.
I think he does not need to be in a hurry to explain those things, I would say.
Okay.
Because like if you're worshiping Krishna, worship. If your family is not yet ready, at least make them, like most of the times what devotees do is they try to go around like kind of trying to prove or something like that. I'd say instead make them more friendly, make them favorable, the family, the rest of them. There is no hurry in like, trying to explain that to, and if for our own understanding, if we want to understand, yeah, we can always show them where in Bhagavatam it is there, where in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And also it's an experience through chanting Hare Krishna. Just by the mercy of Gaura, we will be able to realize that if we just engage in the process.
Yes,
Because I personally feel like I'm also the same normal person who gradually came to this kind of a conviction of Krishna as the Supreme Lord. But it has taken some time, it has taken some investment. That's not the first thing that people really wanted me to accept, or only then other things. And I don't think new people means they need to understand that, but there is no hurry for them to convince everybody else also. So unless I would personally know a person one-on-one, and only then I'll be able to answer this also for this question.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, Sumitra, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful talk. It was very nicely explained, Prabhu, the whole pastime of Shakatasura, the various lessons that one can draw from this whole pastime, how it is really important that, in order to get rid of all unwanted things in our heart, we should take shelter of Krishna. So this has definitely been a great motivation for us to go forward in our bhakti practices. So as a as a tradition in our Bhakti Vriksha group, we offer our gratitude to the speaker by loudly chanting Haribol thrice. I request all the devotees to please unmute themselves and thank Prabhuji by saying Haribol 3 times.
Hare
So
Krishna.
Haribo.
Haribol.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here and also giving me an opportunity. So, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kripa Sundar Goswami Sanam.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Bol.